So first and foremost, just tell me a little bit about yourself as a footballer, what level you're playing at, and what are your goals in the sport?
Yeah, so I'm a 21-year-old football player. I play for Moreland City at the moment in VPL one in their first team. I've just recently signed there, so we're all pretty much a new team. My main position is fullback, right or left back, and also play on the wing. Those wide areas is my preference. And what I'm trying to achieve basically is just this season, especially, just to be sort of consistent in terms of playing and being the best version of myself, and hopefully that adds something to the group come end of the season. So especially based off last season, it wasn't the season that I intended to have. Um, working hard in the off season definitely helped to get to where I am now. So it's just about maintaining it.
Okay. And what challenges or frustrations were you facing in fitness, performance, or overall game before working with me?
Yeah, fitness was a bit of it. I had a couple injuries probably towards the end of preseason, leading into round one last year, which set me back, especially when the team was a bit more settled, made it a lot harder to sort of break in. So my game time was, on and off, which obviously is not ideal for anyone. And then change of coaches as well, it made things a lot harder. Um, and then you know finishing off the season, sort of went away. It was almost like a write off
Yeah.
of the season. So if I could change change it, I just I guess I'll take care more of my body, and those injuries that I faced, it was probably because I did the wrong training in the didn't sort of look after my body too much.
Yeah. So what made you decide to seek help with your training or choose me as well?
Yeah, there was a recommendation from someone I knew, but also after looking at um, your past work, your account that you got, it sounded very appealing to me. And when we first, we had I think we had a few chats before I actually signed up and decided I'm going to go with you. And it was just a level of, how should I say, the trust that I got from you. Sounded real, that you really want to get your clients to where they want to be. That sounded very appealing to me. So it was that, and also the fact that it was all online. I could do it at my own time. Um, I had access to the gym, which made things easier, and the fact that you were constantly checking in, calling me up, texting me almost every day, seeing how I'm going, tracking me on the app. It was almost like you were with me. So the fact that I had that balance of being on my own, but also knowing that I'm still under someone, working for someone, it was good.
Okay, cool. And what aspects of our sessions or the sessions that I put on for you stood out for you?
The fact that they were tailored to what I needed for my body. Um, that were set in different sections. Um, first off was all weight training. Moving on to closer to the season, adding that element of trying to get that fitness in, doing the bit of both. Especially the best thing was when I did get my hip injury. When I did get my hip injury, um, the program changed, completely. You were onto it, sort of tailored into what I could do, because there was a few things obviously that I couldn't. So that was probably the highlight of it, that it was real, and you tailored it to me, no matter what circumstance I was in. Even when I told you I wanted to sort of focus more on my abs as well. Um, within a day, it was, or whatever, I had a new program that's still aligned with football, but also to my need, that what I wanted.
Okay, cool. And from a performance standpoint, what improvements do you reckon you've seen since working with me?
I feel a lot stronger on the ball. Um, it was never a major issue in the past, but sort of I can feel a massive difference, especially now. I feel a lot more confident, whether it's all mental, whether it's all physical. It definitely helps because I get that ball and yeah, you got a lot of confidence in you in myself. It's like the training worked.
Did you experience any changes in your physical fitness or overall health?
I did, especially with my diet as well. Those meal plans you sent, they helped a lot. I was starting to become more conscious of what I was actually eating, trying to trying to reach my goals with how many calories, my protein levels, all that stuff, contributed. Even the mental aspect of just feeling healthy, gives you a lot more confidence, especially being on the field.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about like outside football. Like, has this training influenced you in other areas, work, life, relationship, for the better or for the worse?
Yeah, outside of football, it's definitely helped. I mean, I feel a lot more confident with my body compared to how I did in the past. It's made me, consistently training. It's made me more motivated to do other things in life, whether it's business or whatever it may be. It's just made me a lot more motivated to get out there and just try and smash it.
Yeah. So like when you look at all of that, what do you think would probably be the biggest transformation that you've experienced since working with the program? Like, do you feel like your strength has been the biggest gain? Do you feel that your speed has been the biggest
Oh,
gain?
okay, yeah, yeah.
Well, you've
I think
noticeably gone like, okay, fuck. I didn't have that. Or that's surprising. Or you know what I'm saying?
okay, yeah, yeah, gotcha, yeah. I think that the biggest change that I experienced would have been, my speed and acceleration. You know, the past seasons, especially with the level of fitness that I had, I felt almost sluggish sometimes, especially when I got really fatigued. I felt like I wasn't as rapid, um, and to come into preseason, with months of training already done, um, I felt a lot more quick on my feet. Um, my acceleration was really good with with the sprints testing that we did as well. I've definitely come a long way in that. I don't feel sluggish. Is basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, okay. And when you compare your, I guess, let's go 12 months ago, where you were just coming off the back end of a preseason, or say when you compare the preparation that you had leading into this season as a compared to last season, what are some of the big differences that you feel that you've noticed?
The amount of injuries that I had. So this time last year, we weren't far from round one again. I I reckon through the whole preseason, I had two or three minor injuries that set me back a week or 2 weeks. So it was very inconsistent so far this preseason. Hopefully, I don't jinx anything. It's been injury free. I've completed every session, completed every game, felt really good. Um, it's rewarding.
Yeah. And like now that you are in preseason, obviously training on the ball a lot more, how are you managing that, or how have you found managing that with training in the gym, which wasn't something that you were used to doing previously?
No, that was my probably one of the biggest struggles that I had. Um, Trying to balance 3 4 times a week training, work, university, friends, relationships, and then to sort of try and fit in my gym work was it was always a struggle. Um, and the fact that now I had your program where it was I could do it any time I want. I'm lucky enough to have the gym available. Um, it made things a lot easier. I didn't have set times basically, so it made things a lot easier. Whenever I had a free moment, I found mornings were usually the best prior to work. So that helped a lot, and it was not something I was used to, but I got into a routine and I stuck at it.
So balancing the football and the gym, from a fatigue standpoint, was that something that you were maybe worried about at least coming into this?
At first, I was. I remember we had a chat about it as well. And I asked you, I'm like, look, if I do this session, it's a pretty heavy session, and tonight or tomorrow I've got football training. Am I going to be really fatigued? And you explained the process of it, and the way you set the sessions to sort of align with my football training. Um, it allowed for pretty much no fatigue going into my sessions because if I had a lighter session for football, on that day or the day before, the session in the gym would be heavier, and then vice versa. So having the session that your program tailor made to my schedule, it was perfect.
Yeah, so like I jokingly say like when if you reflect on like maybe your previous years as a footballer, um, how more knowledgeable do you feel about going about your training now outside of the gym or even sorry, outside of the game or even on the game now that you have, I guess, educated yourself and had the
Yep.
understanding of the importance of it? Like, how do you view strength and conditioning now as an athlete that's made the decision to do it compared to like where you were back then?
Yeah, I've realised now it's probably one of the most important things I can do, especially if I want to stay injury free, or mostly injury free, I should say. Um, it's become very important. Um,
Like, could you see yourself not doing it anymore?
no, if I want to continue the way I am, with all the goals and objectives that I've set for myself, I definitely won't stop.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, if those goals and objectives that are come to fruition, a piece of that requires you to have some level of strength and conditioning within your life.
Yeah, yeah. Even yeah,
Otherwise,
that's right. Even outside of football, it helps you with everything. So not just with what I'm doing.
100%, man. I mean, it's the little things. It's okay. All right, you're hitting the gym. The focus is, we want to become better footballers or whatever the fuck, your desire is, even if you're bodybuilding, say. But
Yeah,
it's okay. Well, if I set myself that I need to do this, it flows on to, okay, maybe I got to eat right. And then you start eating right. And then it just bleeds into every fucking aspect of your life just because you've just added discipline. That's
yeah,
really, like if specifically, it's like a gym session. But then what
mm,
does that do? It creates discipline, and discipline is basically universal, happens everywhere. So, it comes as no surprise when I speak to a lot of guys and, they hit a routine and then suddenly they're fucking everything else elevates.
yeah. It's just
Um,
yeah, you see it happening.
yeah, and it sounds like you're doing the same, and you have this conversation another year time, and everything just continues to advance, which is that's what I like hearing the most as well, man. Like obviously good to play football and play at a good level, but when I hear guys just improving their life, I'm like, that's fucking sick, man.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good feeling.
Yeah. So, I mean, if someone was considering joining my program, like wasn't sure, what would you say? What would you tell them?
I'd say don't commit to anything until you actually have a chat with you. Um, Ask every single question possible because there's an answer for everything, and you know even if you're not 100% sure at the start, having a few chats with him about the program, seeing past programs for other clients potentially, it shows you what's involved, and just getting your questions answered before, it gives you a big reassurance.
Hmm. And what's the one piece of advice you give to other footballers about their training now?
If if you have aspirations or you want to continue playing at a good level, strength and conditioning, it's something that has to be part of your program, not just to stay injury free, but gives you a sense of confidence on the field, and it goes a long way.
And lastly, man, is there anything else you'd like to share about your experience with working with me?
I think I mentioned it before. Just the fact that the program's being tailored to me, especially when we had something set to do, and then an injury came up, and I spoke to you about it, and I can't do this, I can't do that because of this injury. And then you created a whole new program for me, working around my injury that I could still maintain a level of fitness, with especially and strength and conditioning, that my injury didn't get in the way. That was one thing that really stood out to me. It showed that you do care about your clients. So
And would you recommend me to any other footballers that would be taking their football seriously?
100%, I would.